Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, distinguished judges, are you thinking about a time when you were a child and somebody called you a name? Doesn't it give you a pit in your stomach? Or what about your own child coming home and crying? How about that terrible boss who called you incompetent? Doesn't the name calling hurt more when it isn't true? I left corporate life 10 years ago to start my own business. At the time, I was the top salesperson. At a company meeting, my boss said, "We need to start thinking outside the box. Except Ruth, we need to get her in the box." Was that a backhanded compliment? Those words didn't hurt, but they did make me realize something. I am the mind of a child. I have Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, A.D.H.D, A.D.D for short. Corporate life was far too stifling. I needed to follow my dreams and explore my creativity. I actually wrote my business plan, Princess and Pirate Parties, the children's dress-up business, when I was just 10 years old. Back then, they didn't call it ADD. They called it stupid and lazy. I'm 10 years old, writing a business plan, and they're calling me lazy? Can you feel the hurt? Everything changed about 7 years ago when I found out I had ADD. I didn't even know what it was. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder is clinically defined as having the following 3 symptoms. The first one, inattention, another word for attention deficit. The second, hyperactivity. And the third, impulsivity. Yet when they go to discuss the first symptom, inattention, they switch to the word distracted. The two are not the same thing. Yes, being distracted is how I found out I had ADD. The TV was on in the other room, and I overhear somebody rattling off a list of words that I had just put in my press release. Creative, thinking outside the box, childlike enthusiasm, motivated, entrepreneur. Oh my gosh, national TV picked up my little local press release? Now, depending on who you ask, this is either extremely optimistic or delusions of grandeur. I go running into the room and there on the TV, it says, Dr. Edward Hollowell, psychiatrist, ADHD specialist. Then a new list is rattled off. Deja vu. It was everything my husband had just complained to my psychiatrist about me. You see, I've suffered from bouts of depression most of my life. And it wasn't until I read Dr. Hollowell's book, Driven to Distraction, that I understood that I wasn't suffering from depression. I was suffering from frustration. I always knew I was different. I just had no idea why. I was born with ADD. I was blessed with ADD. But the depression, it came from the name calling. The name calling that hurts today because it isn't true is attention deficit and disorder. Oh, don't get me wrong, I have ADD and all its stripes, but it's the words themselves that aren't true. How can we with ADD have an attention deficit if our problem is paying attention to too many things, or paying attention to the wrong thing, or paying attention so closely to just one thing that nothing else matters? So I say it's a good thing. The other word that hurts because it isn't true is disorder. How can I have a disorder if ADD gives me an advantage? I think 95% of the population would benefit from a little more ADD. So let's look at the symptoms again from a positive standpoint. The first one, distractibility. Another word for that, multitasking, flexible, thinking outside the box. The second symptom, hyperactive. How many people do you know at work that complain about having too much energy? And the third symptom, impulsivity. Another word for that? Anyone care to guess?
Creative.
Risk-taking. Is there a millionaire out there who hasn't taken risks? So I say that A.D.H.D stands for always discovering happy distractions.